Imagine this. 65 million years ago, in a world full of dangers, mammals were forced to live in the shadows, trying to stay hidden from the giant reptiles that had ruled Earth for 150 million years. But then, a catastrophic event occurred, abruptly ending this reign that had lasted for millions of years. At the end of the Cretaceous period, the evidence left behind in the rocks reveals an undeniable truth. An asteroid had struck Earth, causing massive tidal waves, raining debris from the sky, and even bringing rare minerals like iridium that are seldom found on Earth. Dinosaurs were wiped out, but mammals survived. Today, we stand in awe of the giant bones, marveling at the greatness of the creatures that once ruled this planet. The world was now open and ready to be claimed. Mammals quickly spread into every available niche, but it was one group living in the trees that began a new journey on the path of evolution. A fossil dating back 9 million years after the dinosaurs' extinction, called Carpolestes, reveals something intriguing. Its skeleton has fingers, with one that bends toward the palm, just like modern primates. From this fossil, we can attempt to reconstruct its world, where mammals had to be nocturnal and spend most of their time in trees to avoid the dangers on the ground. Though its diet likely consisted of fruits and berries, Carpolestes' way of life hadn't changed much since the time of the dinosaurs. It still had to be wary of fierce predators. Another fossil provides us with a clue, a massive creature that lived during the same period as Carpolestes left behind a footprint. This creature was Diatryma, a giant bird nearly 7 feet tall, possibly the largest land animal after the dinosaurs were gone. Birds like Diatryma quickly rose to dominate their environment. Dr. Lawrence Whitmer, a dinosaur expert at Ohio University, has spent 15 years studying the ecology of these giants and is fascinated by the massive size of Diatryma's skull. When I first saw the skull of Diatryma, I was struck by its enormous size, a skull from a bird, but larger than any known bird skull today. It might even be larger than the skulls of lions or bears, but its structure is entirely different. What could this creature have used such an unusual skull for?
Well, when I first saw the skull of Diatryma, the first thing that I was struck by was its size. It's absolutely huge. This comes from a bird, but it's larger than any known bird skull that's living today. It's potentially larger than what we see in a lion or a bear, but it's organized differently. What this animal used this unusual skull.
Through CT scans, Dr. Whitmer discovered large cavities inside the skull, likely where muscles for moving the beak were attached. He's confident that, with its size and toughness, Diatryma's beak could easily tear flesh from its prey, much like lions do today. The skull was massive compared to the body, clearly indicating that Diatryma was a formidable predator, much like Tyrannosaurus rex. With its powerful bite, Diatryma wasn't just capable of killing its prey. It could also strip flesh from bones with ruthless efficiency. In many ways, Diatryma was like a mini T-Rex. This reconstruction is based on evidence gathered from fossils.
Is well adapted for not just killing but also removing the flesh from the bone. So in a sense what we see here with Diatryma, and I would imagine that the animals of its day viewed it in much the same way, was Diatryma was in many respects sort of a mini T-Rex.
There were 4 species of this giant bird, which lived in forests and grasslands. Due to their massive weight, they were flightless, but could probably run as fast as humans today. However, at that time, most mammals were still small and slow-moving. The ancestors of modern horses wouldn't have stood a chance against such predators. Once dead, the flesh of the prey would be ripped apart by Diatryma's powerful beak. It's no wonder that many small mammals sought refuge in the trees to escape these giant birds. Diatryma ruled the lands from Europe to North America, and they were also present on other continents in the southern hemisphere, everywhere except Asia. In Asia, no bird fossils were found, only mammals. These giant birds dominated their domain for another 15 to 20 million years until a dramatic climate change and rising conflicts led to their downfall. 60 million years ago, a long, narrow sea stretched between Asia and Europe, separating the 2 continents. At the other end, Asia was connected to North America by a land bridge far to the north, buried under permanent ice. Nothing could cross in or out of Asia. This isolation allowed mammals in Asia to diversify, safe from the threat of the giant birds. Among these mammals was a predator smaller than the birds, but with distinct advantages. Dr. Chris Beard explains that Hyaenodontidae were an incredible group of predatory mammals.
The Hyaenodontids were an amazing group of predatory mammals. There were really 2 main things that distinguished the Hyaenodontids from any other kinds of predatory mammals that were alive at this time. The first was that the Hyaenodontids had 3 sets of teeth on the upper and the lower.
2 key characteristics set them apart from other predators of their time.
The other predatory mammals that were alive at the time of Hyaenodontids were slow, ponderous animals that were not fast runners. Some of them could climb and were arboreal, but none of them were quick runners.
First, Hyaenodontidae had 3 sets of teeth on both their upper and lower jaws, perfectly designed for cutting through flesh. Second, they were incredibly fast runners. While other predators of the time were slow and lumbering, Hyaenodontidae could chase down their prey with remarkable speed. There would come a time when these mammalian predators would face off against Diatryma, and in this confrontation, only one could emerge victorious. But first, the ice bridge had to disappear, and it did. The climate shifted once again, the ice melted, and the land bridge opened. A showdown was inevitable. It was just a matter of time.
Imagine that Hyaenodontids, because they were fast runners, must have been the first pursuit predators. They must have been very wolf-like in the way that they hunted. They probably ran around in packs and chased down their prey. That not only allowed them to capture their prey, but it also allowed them to capture larger prey.
The mammals made the journey to North America. We can imagine Hyaenodontidae, with their speed, becoming the first pursuit predators, likely hunting in packs like modern wolves, chasing and taking down their prey. This ability not only allowed them to catch their prey, but also enabled them to take down larger animals. So, when Hyaenodontidae finally migrated westward into North America and Europe, It marked a significant shift. In a sense, mammals had been suppressed even during the age of dinosaurs. But even after the dinosaurs went extinct, it still took another 15 to 20 million years before the age of mammals truly began.
So when Hyaenodontans finally did migrate into the West, into North America and into Europe, it really signaled a change. And in a sense, mammals had been sort of suppressed even during the age of dinosaurs. But even when dinosaurs became extinct, it was still another 15 or maybe even 20 million years before we can really say that the age of mammals began.
The forests at night were still dangerous, but now mammals hunted other mammals. Our ancestors, the primates, clung to the trees for safety. But the evolutionary road was inevitably leading to the rise of a species that would dominate the world. Primates evolved sharper vision. Their brains grew more intelligent. They learned to walk on two legs, and eventually they would rule the miracle planet.